Hi everyone, Don Miguccione here. Building off of the post from last week about stretching and mobility. So this week we're going to continue with 2 hamstring stretches and then building off some concepts. So last week we talked about hamstring stretches and then just introduction to the topic. So the stretches we focused on were from a standing position, and I also emphasized please don't make stretching a balance drill and talked about different ways to modify the standing stretch so that's not happening. So we're going to take a different approach this week. We got a different vantage point here. We're going to do stretching from the floor and different variations of that, and then just again talk about some concepts of effective stretching to make sure we're accomplishing our goal. So first thing we're going to talk about is a straddle stretch, center split. Not going to be a split, but we're going to talk about that and how we can use that to build some concepts of mobility in the hamstrings. So here we go, starting off. So basically, just like it sounds, straddle, could be here, could be wider. When you start off, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel relaxed, you want to feel like you're up tall. So if you find yourself having to hunch forward, if your knees have to bend, it probably means you're trying a little bit too far of a straddle for right now. So seriously, in as far as you need to, sitting up tall. If you're having trouble sitting up tall, if you're feeling tension in your lower back, in your hips, there might be some other areas of mobility we need to address, maybe some reflexive stability also, which we can get into later. For now, we're just going to focus on this type of a position, how we can use it to stretch the hamstrings. So let's start from more of like a beginner concept. So let's say getting to a straddle position right here is challenging and you're feeling a little bit tense. What you can start off with is hands back behind you. So you're going to put palms flat down and just use that to support yourself. So you can lean back a little bit, but you can keep your back straight, keep the tension off your back. Then you can sort of use your hands to walk yourself up here. Lean into it. Maybe take one hand over here, wedge it over here, and help yourself lean over one side and get a nice stretch. You can do the same thing. Walk it back, walk this one over here, lean. It's okay to use your hands. Push forward. And you want to make sure, again, like everything's nice and relaxed. You're not having any tension. Like if you're trying to lean forward and your knee comes up, something's not right and you need to reassess it. So here's another thing. As you relax into a stretching position, like we're talking about here, you can actually expand your range of motion a little bit. So when you're in a straddle position, there's a lot of different schools of thought on how do you increase that range of motion. So here's an easy tip for you. You can, again, use your hands, one back here, one in the front, and sort of lift yourself up a little bit, just gently, move forward, switch, other side, move forward so you can increase your straddle and continue to work on those mobility concepts. So as you get a little bit more advanced, obviously you can lean with one hand, lean with the other hand, both. It's all about if you can continue to stay tall and continue to make sure that your knees are straight, nice and relaxed as you go along here. So that's the basics of the straddle stretch. You can go forward, which is hamstrings and a little bit of groin. Again, like that's how you can build into this stretch. Assuming you can use the beginner process, work on being tall, so that you don't have to worry about am I creating tension in my low back and my hips by doing this kind of a stretch. So that's the straddle stretch. Another one, which might even be easier if you haven't done a lot of mobility for your hamstrings, is to use a strap or a belt to assist you. So I've got something over here. Could be a jump rope. This is a karate belt, but basically what you're going to do, you're going to wrap something around your foot. Make sure you got plenty of slack so you're not struggling and creating tension there. What you're going to do is you're going to lay down, you bend the opposite knee. Start off on the floor. Again, plenty of slack here, so you can completely make sure you're laying down. Get this out of my way. You're going to use your leverage here, and this might be where you go. You want to go to, you feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of your leg here. Hold it for about 3-5 seconds. Go down and relax. Just give it a little shake. So eventually, if you find yourself getting past 90 degrees, again, you got to keep that knee straight. If you're doing this, go back down as far as you can go by keeping the knee straight. Relax. Relax. A little stretch. If you get more advanced, you can straighten the bottom leg. Again, it should be keeping the knee straight. Hold it. Relax. There we go. So concepts we reviewed today, making sure that you're not creating tension in other areas in order to try to stretch one area. And chances are, if you're creating tension in your back, in your hips, to try to stretch your hamstring, you're not really stretching your hamstring because the entire surrounding area is not completely relaxed. So don't be afraid to use items around you, again, a jump rope, a belt, whatever you have available, to make sure that you can completely relax and make sure that you're getting increased range of motion. That's a concept I was trying to emphasize here, is that you want to hold a stretch when you're trying to increase that range of motion. Hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, relax, repeat. You could do that 10 times and then move on to another side, to another body part. Then you could cycle back through it. You'll find that as you do that approach, you'll increase your range of motion, whether that be the straddle stretch, whether that be how far your leg can go up with this belt stretch. And that'll help you get yourself on the way to more mobile hamstrings. And then as we go to other areas of your body, you'll see that same transferable concept as well. So this has been a continuation of stretching and mobility. Really appreciate you taking a look. Feedback always welcome, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.